Hi, this is Mrs. Oakley, and today's our very first lesson for Math Lab. I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy these kind of lessons more than just getting on the videos. It's gonna kind of be like our Math Lab class. For those of you that don't have me for math class, you'll get to see what we do on a daily basis. So let's start our first lesson. This unit is our place value lesson, and this is lesson 1. Now, just so you know how this works, we're going to go back and we're going to look at fourth grade standards, and we're going to build fourth, fifth, and sixth grade on the same subject. So today we're looking at place values. So first and foremost, let's talk about, so first and foremost, I want to talk about these periods, we call. So these sections here, we call periods or sections. Sorry, I thought I had my highlighter. Let me get my highlighter. This is a period or a grouping. And this grouping we call the ones. This is the ones group. Okay. Then we have here in the middle, right after the ones, as we get bigger, we get to the 1,000 period. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it behind there so you can see what we call it. Oh, and you can hear my little bit. That's Ella. A lot of talk. And then here, as we move past the second comma, we get into the million period. Okay, so it's very important that you understand this. Okay, now that we know what the periods are or the sections are, let's label these. So first and foremost, we all know here that this is the ones, right? So I'm gonna put ones. Actually, you know what? Let me do something different. Let me write it so it looks better. So ones, okay? Then this position here, our very first one is always the ones. Then we get into what we call the tens section and the hundreds. Okay, now once we get past this comma, we move into the thousands periods. And here's why that's important to know. So this is the thousand or the 1,000s. And then this is the 10,000s. And this is the 100,000. Now, as I'm writing this, anything that I'm writing, remember, you should be writing on your screen also. Okay? And then we get past the next next comma, excuse me, and we're moving into the million period. So this would be the millions or the 1 millions. All right? All right, moving on. Okay, so there are 3 ways to write a number, and we're going to define all 3. So standard form is just numbers, okay? Just numbers. That's all it is. So an example of this, and let's put example, is 4,568, right? 4,567. I don't know why the 8 went there, followed my fingers. Okay, now word form is exactly what you hear. It's using words. Another way to look at this is how we say a number. Okay, and then last of all, an example of this would be, and this is going to get kind of long, so let's squeeze this down. We would say 4,567, right? So this is how we would say this number. And then to expand it, I'm going to show you this, but then I'm going to demonstrate it better. So 4,000 plus 500 plus 60 plus 7. Okay, so that's expanded form. Now we're going to look at it more on the next couple slides. Okay. All right, so I have done something that I think makes life a little bit easier. I have labeled it with colors and lines. So notice that this one, oops, I don't mean to move that. This one right here, we know that's in the ones place. So it goes right here and it's worth just 1. Now, this is worth, you guys say 3, but it's not worth. It's worth 3 times 10 or 30. Okay. 2 is 2 times 100 or just 200. Then we have the 7 is worth 7 times 1,000 or 7,000, right? How about the next one? The 5 is worth 5 times 10,000. That's a really bad one. My pen got away from me. Or we could say 50,000. And then the 4 is times 100,000, or it's worth 400,000. And that last 5 is worth 5 times, well, 1 million, right? Or we could say it's worth 5 million. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to try this. We're going to try putting this in a couple different ways. Now, first off, I want you to remember that when you see it in numbered, we're going to first label it as the standard form. Okay? Now, saying this number in word form. Well, how would you say this? Well, you would say 2 million, because you would tell me that the 2 is in the millions place. Then you would say 874. And if I left it like that, you would think that the 874 was at the end. So I've got to remember to tell you 1,000. Okay, so 2,874,000. So it tells me what section, what period. 982. Okay, so that's how we say it in word form. And I'm going to stretch it out so you can see it better. Now, to expand it, remember, everything has its section. So what I like to do is I like to take the number. So 2 is in the million. Okay, I know nothing behind it. See how there's 6 numbers behind that 2? We make those all zeros. Plus, well, now we have the 8 in the 100,000. How many numbers are behind it? Well, there's 5. So I'm going to put 5 zeros. Plus 7. Now there's 5 numbers behind this, right? Or 4 numbers, sorry, 4 numbers behind it. So I'm going to put 4 zeros. Plus 4. And there's 3 numbers behind it, so 3 zeros plus 9, 2 numbers behind it, so 2 zeros plus 8, and there's 1 number behind it, so put a 0 plus 2. Now, if I were to add those up all together, that would equal 2,874,982. Okay, now this is your chance to try it. Go ahead and do this independently. Remember to label what we call this number here. What form is it? Then write it in word form and expanded form. Do your best with your writing, or you could pause the video and look up how to spell something if you'd like. But I'm not really grading you on spelling. I'm grading you on, do you know how to say this number? All right, so now that you have tried this, let's see if you got it right. First off, you should have said, Mrs. Oakley, this is in standard form. And then you said to write this word, I'm going to say 5 million. And then you're going to say 4, oops, I can't spell, 156. And remember, you got to tell me what section or what period, 1,902. Okay, that's how you say it. Now, expanded form, you should have said 5 and then put 6 zeros behind it, plus 4 with 5 zeros behind it, plus 5 with 4 zeros behind it, plus 6 with 3 zeros behind it. Let's straighten that out. Plus 9 with 2 zeros behind it. Plus, now here's where it's tricky. Do I put the 0 and then plus 2? No. If there's nothing in a place value, you just leave that one alone. So we'd say 900 plus 2. Great job. All right, you are done with your first place value lesson. Go ahead and head back to Classcraft and do your practice and your should do's and your mastery checks. Once you're done, I'll see you for place value lesson 2. Bye.